Today I will review the CAMMUS C5 direct drive wheel as the Thrustmaster T300 user. This is my first direct drive wheel after using the T300 for a few years now, so in the end I will give you my opinion and feelings about upgrading from the belt-driven wheel to a direct drive wheel. I will compare the specifications, how they feel in game, and whether the upgrade to C5 is worth it or to buy it as your first racing wheel. I received the CAMMUS C5 for free to try it out, but I'm not paid to make this video, so let's get started. The CAMMUS C5 is the cheapest direct drive wheel on the market. It features all metal build, giving it premium and sturdy feel. The rim is wrapped in leather with high quality hand stitching. On the other hand, the T300 has a mix of plastic and metal, and the wheel rim is wrapped in a rubbery material. The T300 feels solid, but it's not quite as premium compared to the CAMMUS C5. From a build quality perspective, the C5 takes the edge with the solid construction. But how do they perform? Let's take a look at the specifications before we dive into driving experience. The first spec is the torque. The CAMMUS C5 has 7 Nm of torque and the T300 is rated for 3.9 Nm. Now let me explain why the CAMMUS C5 has 7 Nm of torque even though it's advertised as 5 Nm. Most companies advertise peak torque value, but the CAMMUS decided to go with constant torque, which is lower. This is a good thing, because you get 5 Nm constant torque and 7 Nm peak torque, which is for example higher than Fanatec CSL DD with only 5 Nm peak torque. The T300 is 3.9 Nm, but it's belt driven, so the responses from the force feedback are not as fast as on the direct drive motor. Next spec is angle of rotation. CAMMUS C5 is a direct drive wheel, so the angle of rotation is basically infinite. But as with the most direct drive wheelbases, this rotation is limited by the firmware when the base is on. For C5 it's 2520 degrees of rotation, which is plenty for any car or simulator out there. The T300 has also a high angle of rotation compared to a similar belt-driven wheelbases, which is 1080 degrees. The CAMMUS C5 has 58 buttons compared to a T300's 17 buttons. Now, I sometimes have issues mapping everything I need to the T300 wheel, so having a 58 buttons on the C5 is a big plus. CAMMUS C5 features 3 rotary encoders. Each encoder can be mapped to 12 positions or used as 2-position switch. The T300 wheel is without rotary encoders, of course. Another nice feature of the C5 is 10 customizable rev lights and 3-digit display. You can change the colors of the rev lights to your liking, or you can use predefined profiles from CAMMUS. The 3-digit display can show speed or gear position, or it can show both as well. You can also adjust the brightness of the display, but unfortunately not the brightness of the rev lights. Going to negatives, the CAMMUS C5 wheel is permanently mounted on the wheelbase, so it cannot be exchanged for a different wheel rim. On the other hand, the T300 wheel rim can be swapped to any wheel from the Thrustmaster ecosystem. And if you are a console player, I have a piece of bad news for you. Because the CAMMUS C5 can be only used with the PC, unlike the T300, which is compatible with PC, PlayStation and Xbox. Now let's talk about the pricing. I'm considering only the retail price for both products, not the used market. The CAMMUS C5 bundle that comes with the wheelbase, table clamp and set of pedals currently retails for $329. And that is a killer price for entry-level direct drive wheel. The T300 is currently not worth buying as new because on Amazon or Thrustmaster website it retails for $449. By comparing the specs and the price, you can see that the CAMMUS C5 is a clear winner here. But I will give you my advice here. If you think about buying the C5, I would buy just the wheelbase and table clamp bundle, without the pedals, which is only $279. I would use the pedals from the T300 or buy any other pedal set on the used market. The basic pedals from CAMMUS are not worth it. You can also use the link in the video description for a 5% discount. So, how does C5 feel on the track? Being a direct drive wheel, the force feedback is incredibly sharp and detailed. You can feel every little bump, curb and loss of traction. The torque is strong, much stronger compared to T300, and the response time is near instant. My arms were sore after 1 hour session because I was not used to this kind of force. The feeling of using the direct drive wheel is hard to explain through the screen, but I will try my best. The first thing you notice is of course the amount of force, the details and the smoothness of the force feedback. I feel like I'm finally one with the car I'm driving. I don't like to do practice laps, but now with the CAMMUS C5 I notice that I cannot stop. I drive lap after lap after lap, sometimes forgetting to join official races. It's that good. The main difference is the feeling of the tires and the loss of grip in the corners. With the T300 it was a guessing game. That's how I see it now. With the direct drive wheel you can finally drive the car on the limit. And despite all the reviews I saw about the direct drive wheel claiming that it will not make you faster, I have to say that in my experience the direct drive wheel made me a little bit faster. But that's not important for me. The important thing is the immersion and enjoying the car, which the C5 is doing every second on the track for me now. You really notice how much more connected you feel to the car. The CAMMUS C5 excels in providing precise control, especially in high-performance simulators like iRacing or Assetto Corsa. I don't feel any graininess while turning the wheel, but this is my first direct drive wheel, and I have the Moza R5 coming, which is supposedly more smoother, so I will compare them in later videos. There are a lot of settings you have to tune to get the best out of the direct drive wheel, so I will be doing a complete guide of all the settings in the next video. I want to also talk about the paddle shifters a little bit. Yes, they are the smallest I have seen and not the best comparing them to my other wheels and magnetic shifters. However, they are in the right place, so shifting is precise with no misshifts. But the biggest plus is that they have a nice silent click. You cannot really hear them while shifting, so driving at night you won't disturb anyone at home. So what is my conclusion after upgrading the T300 to a direct drive from CAMMUS? Choosing between the CAMMUS C5 and the Thrustmaster T300 depends on what you are looking for in a racing wheel. If you want maximum immersion, power and precision, the CAMMUS C5's direct drive system is hard to beat, especially at its price of $329. It's the clear winner here for sim racers looking for serious performance on the budget. If I were now in your shoes and had to decide which first racing wheel to buy, I would definitely choose the CAMMUS C5 over the T300. And if you are considering buying one and you want to support my channel, you can use the link in the description, which will give you a 5% discount on the CAMMUS store. So I hope you liked this video and I will see you in the next one.